Okay, am I on? Yeah. Okay, these are spring peas. Photosynthesis makes this. About 2 months ago, they were just nothing but one tiny little pea. Look at how these things have grown. And they're producing brand new, fresh peas. Locusts have gotten in here. There we go. Half a dozen peas in that pod. Fresh. Oh, great. All right. It says we're recording, so I'm going to believe it. Okay. These are those snow peas that I was eating outside. They're wonderful. Photosynthesis takes my CO2 or any CO2 in the air, and it assembles, takes that CO2 and water and assembles sugar out of it. And then the sugar actually gets linked together to make starch. And that starch is what's in the pea, along with some simple sugars. Man, those are good. There's about 2 grams of carbohydrate in every half cup of peas that I eat. And actually, this is strawberry season and blueberry season, and this is wonderful. Because what I do is I can eat one of these strawberries, and I will get 5 grams of sugar out of that. Oh, they are so good. 5 grams of sugar out of that. And then the blueberries, they're even better. Those blueberry season. And you can tell they are sweeter, and they have 10 grams of carbohydrate. Yum. Love doing nutrition. But here's a funny thing. Here's a healthy cereal. This is Quaker oatmeal squares. And when I read the label on the side, I discover that this has not got 2 or 5 grams of carbohydrates in it, or sugars in it. What I discover is it's got 100. So, wow, why in the world would oatmeal squares baked have more sugar in them? Now, of course, there's another kind of sugar. Where is it? Yeah, I can take this sugar out of the sugar bowl, and that's very simple sugar. And I can down a spoon or 2 of this, and you know, it's just sicky sweet, and it's very simple, and you know, you get a real quick high out of it. But it's much better to take it a strawberry or a blueberry or a green sugar snap pea, because those sugars are complex. They got in the fruit. There's vitamins that help synthesize that. There's fibers in there. There's all kinds of complexity in this. This, it's really simple sugar, and it's going to dissolve right into your tongue, and it'll give you a quick high and a quick low. It's going to cause your pancreas to secrete insulin, and the more times you do that, the more likely you're going to get adult onset diabetes. We've even got kids that are having diabetes from too much sugar. Golly, where does all this sugar come from in something that's as healthy as this? Okay, I think I've discovered our problem. Here we are on Craighead Street near the Tennessee State Fairgrounds. And right on Craighead Street is located a company that has a lot to do with this problem. Coca-Cola Bottling Company. This is what they look like from the front. Let's go around back. I'm going to do this from inside my truck because there's a little less noise to contend with. Here's a giant, what looks like a oil tank car, but it says Cargill Foods corn sweeteners. And beyond the graffiti, it says 220,000 pounds of Cargill Foods corn sweeteners. Now that's high fructose corn syrup. 220,000 pounds of it. And look at the lineup here at the Coke bottling plant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tank cars in a row. That's 2,200,000 pounds of corn sweetener that's destined to go into bottles labeled Coke or other products. High fructose corn syrup is in nearly everything, including cake mixes and even Duracell batteries. And to maximize the yield of the corn sweetener that you get, they make farmers plant a special kind of corn that you really can't eat, but it produces a lot of high fructose corn sweetener. So farmers end up having to go on food stamps because they can't feed themselves with the corn they grow in their own field. And lately, what's happened is there's also corn oil, cooking oil that you can get, and there's certainly soybean oil. And those have been used for biodiesel fuels. So we have diesel automobiles and diesel trucks that are actually competing with humans for space on the farm. This is just really amazing. Okay, now here we are at Kroger's on 8th Avenue, and I've got several things I want to show you when we get inside. Okay, here we are in the cereal aisle. What an amazing stretch of different kinds of cereal that we have here. And we seem to have everything from Fruit Loops and frosted wheat to, here's some really great healthy muesli, it sounds, and low-fat granola. And what a challenge to you is come in here and look at some of these and decide what's healthy and what's not healthy. Then after you line up a few boxes of cereal that you think are really healthy and what are not healthy, what I want you to do is take that box and turn it to the side and look at how much carbohydrate and sodium and fat, those three things. If you just watch those three things, you can tell a lot about the nutritional content. Now, here's another item. It's a meat counter. That's meat. That's protein, isn't it? That's the muscle. And then that has the same amount of energy as sugars, 4 calories per gram. Problem is, when you break this down, there's some ammonia there you have to get rid of with your kidneys. Now, but you need this protein because it's got the amino acids that synthesize all your enzymes. So you need to have that to build structure in all your cells, not just your muscle cells. But muscle is a great way of getting that protein, all the amino acids you need. Now here's fat. Fat is a great insulator, and it has more than twice the energy. This has 9 calories per gram. So fat is really important. Actually, the heart runs on a fat metabolism. So it's important for storage of energy. And of course, if you eat too many calories, you're going to store too much energy. That's where fat comes from. How much sugars? Is there any sugar in here? And the answer is yes. You remember the starch that's stored in the pea? That starch is polymers of sugar. Well, there's a kind of starch that we make, and it's called glycogen. And glycogen is stored in tiny, tiny granules within the muscle and within the liver. And glycogen is available for immediate bursts of energy. Like, when you get scared and your heart beats fast. And glycogen is the sugar that's available right there in the muscle, immediately ready for energy. We'll talk more about that in the energetic section. Now, here we are in the soda aisle. heavens, Murgatroyd. How many different kinds of soda are there? Well, let's take a look at one that we just saw in the making. Now here's our Coca-Cola. And sure enough, what does it have? It has 40 grams of sugars. And what is the first ingredient? It says carbonated water, high fructose corn syrup. Haha, the plot thickens. Okay, here we are in the ice cream aisle. This is Edie's slow churn. It's the quality ice cream. It has 3.5 grams of fat. Now we can move down the aisle and we find, oh, these big party packs of ice cream. And actually what they have is they have 8 grams of fat in them. More than twice the fat, maybe a little better price. Now here's the cheese aisle that you might not recognize. Here's Kraft Singles. It says pasteurized prepared cheese product. Cheese product? Is that something a real cheese makes? But it's not really cheese, see? It's a product that's something like cheese. What do we have? 4.5 grams of fat, 230 milligrams of sodium. Well, now here, Kraft Singles made with 2% milk. This should be better, right? And when we line them up, we say, yeah, instead of 4.5 grams of fat, we have 2.5 grams of fat. But the sodium goes from 230 milligrams up to 270 milligrams. Okay. What about if we pick Colby? Now, why isn't there any American that's block cheese? American apparently is a cheese that's a cheese product. It's not really a real cheese, so we can't make any real American cheese. This says it's got 9 grams of fat, but that's in a larger serving size, and it has only 170 milligrams of sodium. So, again, you look for quality, you look for something that has low fat. Thank you, Kroger's. We appreciate you letting us film here.